Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry for the little hiatus. Life's been a little rough, but the show must go on in certain ways. Don't have Marty with me, so it's already a little different. But I thought with this episode, I just talk about AEW Dynamite and Rampage. Um, so to start off, Claudio Castagnoli faces off against Ray Phoenix in a decent back and forth content. You know, and this is a very interesting concept as it was a double Jeopardy match between both of them, where if Claudio Castagnoli wins, he gets a shot at the tag team titles, or Ray Phoenix wins, he gets a shot at the championship. You thought maybe both parties, Jericho, Lucha Brothers would get involved, or Blackpool Combat Club would get involved, but no, you didn't really see much of that, except for maybe towards the end after the match. But honestly, Claudio Castagnoli does eventually get the victory over Ray Phoenix and gets a future ROH World Tag Team title match. It really makes you think of what member of the Blackpool Combat Club he's going to choose. Honestly, I think maybe he's going to choose not Bryan Danielson, but Wheeler Yuta. I think he's going to choose Wheeler Yuta because Wheeler Yuta has been prominently used on ROH before. So honestly, I do think that you're going to see Wheeler Yuta with Claudio. I don't think you're really going to see Danielson with Claudio unless, Danielson is probably going to be used a little bit more on ROH. You really haven't seen him being used as a wrestler as much on AEW as of late. More so like the hype man for the Blackpool Combat Club. So hopefully you can see a little bit of Wheeler Yuta being involved with Claudio. It would be cool to see them win the ROH Tag Team Championships. Of course, I haven't watched personally. I have not watched ROH in a long time, so I don't know what's truly going on with that. But makes me kind of intrigued. This match might get me intrigued to maybe get back into watching it. I mean, like I said, life has been a little rough, so I haven't been able to really have the time to watch it. That's why I kind of wanted to just talk about Dynamite and Rampage. It's a little bit easier to be able to watch it, especially with Marty and I's schedules not really meeting in the same path. But a big name coming back, I'm quite shocked about this. Miro, who we have not seen in such a long time, has finally come back, and he walks straight into Tony Khan's office. What could this mean? It might mean big things. I think this is going to be utilized as a thing to really promote the new show going forward, which is heavily rumored that they are going to be having a Saturday show that's going to be kind of like the new Rampage, where Rampage is going to be kind of like the new Dark and Dark Elevation, where you're going to, push more of your newer talent on that show to get up to either Collision or Dynamite. So I think Miro is the main reason, a big guy that you're going to try to push for the new show. And I don't think it's a bad thing. I think Miro is definitely a guy that could be a future champion. I mean, he's a future TNT champion. Somebody that could probably go after either the world title or the international championship. I think the international championship might be a good title for Miro going forward. I mean, somebody that can really challenge Orange Cassidy for the championship. Who better than a former champion himself in Miro? Miro maybe didn't have the best run when he was TNT champion, but honestly, I think he's somebody that, if Tony Khan really sees something in Miro, hopefully it means good things for him. Let's see. FTR come out and want to apologize to Mark Briscoe, but out come Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal instead. They want to hear FTR accept the challenge. Then Mark Briscoe comes out, offers all of them a beer, and will be the special guest referee for the tag team match at Double or Nothing. So safe to say that they're going to face off for the tag team titles, and then beat each other down. And then Mark Briscoe gets a pile driver from a blinded Dax Harwood. I'm sure that's not exactly how Mark Briscoe envisioned that going down. He just wanted to have a toast with everybody and get them on the same page. But fortunately, that's not the case. I think Mark Briscoe is going to have a very big say of who's going to win this tag team match. I really do think that Jay Briscoe is going to screw over Jay Lethal and Jeff Jarrett to have FTR retain the tag team titles at Double or Nothing. Hence why he's a special guest referee. So we'll see what happens at Double or Nothing. It's definitely shaping up to be a very good card. I'm very intrigued about the Pillars Fatal 4-Way match for the AEW World Championship. So I'm really hoping that Double or Nothing is going to excel. Because, Marty and I know Marty's not pictured in this episode, but Marty and I are going to be there in Toronto. We're going to be definitely talking about our experience for Double or Nothing, our very first AEW pay-per-view. I'm so excited for it. I cannot wait for June to get here for it. I'm looking forward to it. So, Roderick Strong and Chris Jericho to face off on the next episode, and are going to face off in the Falls Count Anywhere match, where Jericho Appreciation Society are banned, as well as Adam Cole. This match is definitely going to be interesting, that they're banned, especially in a no-holds-barred match where no rules are applied, but I think that these two men are going to have one hell of a match. Roderick Strong is one hell of a wrestler, so is Chris Jericho, even though he really states that he's more of a sports entertainer than he is a pro wrestler. But Chris Jericho definitely has a very strong professional wrestling aspect to him, even though he's been in the world of ECW, WCW, and WWE most of his career, even though he's recently he's been with New Japan Pro Wrestling, AEW, so and also ROH. So I really do think that Chris Jericho and Roderick Strong are going to put together a really good match. I don't think they've ever really faced off against each other, so this one's going to be very intriguing to see and talk about on the show. So personally, I think that Roderick Strong could get the win here, but something tells me Chris Jericho has a ace up the sleeve and gonna pull out something in this match. He's gonna have somebody get involved in here, So Miro wasn't the only return. Thunder Rosa is also back and walks into Tony Khan's office. I think she's another one that's gonna be probably helping to promote the new show. I hope that she can eventually go after, the title that she never lost as well, too. Thunder Rosa had to relinquish the title due to injury, so I hope that she can get a future world title opportunity at Jamie Hayter and maybe can win it back. That'd be cool, because, again, that was a title that she never lost. She had to relinquish due to injury, and I hope that, after this long, lengthy time away from the company, that maybe she can really get herself up there and really help push Collision off the ground. I definitely think that the way that AEW is going right now, it's going in the right direction. I mean, they got the video game that's soon to be coming out. They have the new show that's going to be coming out, which I'm sure has been announced. So yeah, that's going to be the big announcement that Tony Khan's going to come up with. And also 60,000 tickets have been sold for All In in Wembley Stadium. So everybody that has stated that AEW is not big and can't do what WWE is, I'm sorry, but you can look and see what they've done with All In. They have sold 60,000 for Wembley Stadium so far, which means that AEW is on the up and up and up. Yeah, maybe they're not going to the real flashy arenas, but look at WWE. They're not going to the real flashy arenas and still are selling out, arenas after arena. AEW is just, the alternative, the next kind of wrestling promotion. If you're tired of WWE, you can go and see AEW. You can go watch Dynamite and Rampage and Collision. You can watch the pay-per-views. You can watch ROH. It's something that's an alternative. It's something that I've been looking for as a fan. a difference from WWE. I've said it multiple times on the show. I am sick and tired of what they've done. The whole thing with Cody Rhodes, and now, you have Cody Rhodes feuding with Brock Lesnar, and not even in the world title picture. You have Seth Rollins and AJ Styles, and again, it's pretty much this title that, Seth Rollins is pretty much going to make him, his own, the secondary championship, because Roman Reigns is your main guy with the Universal and WWE Championship. So, unfortunately, now it's like, yeah, I'm just at a crossroads of, no pun intended, of what to do about this whole situation with Cody Rhodes. It just not, you give him Brock, which is cool and everything, that, you're going to be utilizing him as a big star. But the problem is that Cody Rhodes should be better than just feuding with Brock Lesnar. I get it. Now you're kind of having him as a full-time wrestler. Why all of a sudden is he a full-time wrestler where back in the day when he was holding championships, you barely even saw him on television. Now he's not even holding a championship and you see him in every single pay-per-view. Like, cool. If he was holding a title and defending it every single pay-per-view, I would probably say, okay, I'm okay with that, because he's not a part-timer, he's a full-timer. You want to know who's a part-timer that has a world championship? Roman Reigns. You're not going to see him again until SummerSlam. So it blows my mind that Cody Rhodes chose to leave AEW, the company that he helped start, that he helped become a big star, goes to WWE, and then he's utilized against Brock frickin' Lesnar? Really? I would be a lot happier if it meant like something good is going to come out of this. But if you're just going to give him stupid feuds, and that's how you're going to build him up to reinvent himself, it's stupid. Because I feel like that's what made him leave in the first place, is because, you kind of build him up as like that kind of like mid-card star that could break out, and then all of a sudden you derail his momentum. And it seems like that's what you're doing with him right now. You have him so hot going into WrestleMania, and then you have him lose to Roman Reigns. It makes no sense. You have him win the Royal Rumble, you go to WrestleMania, and you have him lose. So I'm hoping for big things for Cody. I mean, I've kind of been a fan of his with AEW. I'm really pushing for him to have some success in WWE, but just the way that Triple H has been booking him as of late, it just makes absolutely no sense. So, back on track here. So Orange Cassidy faces off against Daniel Garcia for the International Championship. And Orange Cassidy retains. Daniel Garcia, I hope you know you're more of a wrestler than you are a sports entertainer. Can you stop that god-awful dance of yours? I'm sorry, but you need to leave that into the dust. You need to bring the pro wrestler Daniel Garcia, the one that won the Pure Wrestling Championship in Buffalo. We need that Daniel Garcia. We don't need this, sorry for my language, pussified Daniel Garcia. We don't need the one that's in the pants and dancing around like a freaking idiot Daniel Garcia. We need the real wrestler, the real fighter Daniel Garcia. So, hey. So Outcasts are going to face off against Hikaru Shida, Britt Baker, and Jamie Hayter. I'm not opposed to this. I'm hoping that maybe you get one of the Outcasts face off against Jamie Hayter for the title, but right now it doesn't seem like that's going to be the case. I feel like there's going to be more of like a trios heading into Double or Nothing, as we are on the road to Double or Nothing. But honestly, Outcasts, they have a lot on their plates with everything that's going on right now. And honestly, Hikaru Shida, Britt Baker, and Jamie Hayter, it's a weird teaming, but honestly, I'm not opposed to it. It would be nice to see Hikaru Shida face off against Jamie Hayter for the title. Maybe I'm hoping that's what could be what it leads towards. But honestly, this trios match is going to be interesting to see what's going to happen. Will Hikaru Shida really, stick with Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter, or is she going to turn on them to really join up with the Outcasts? It's kind of interesting to see what's going to happen with that. But definitely keep on watching with Dynamite and Rampage to see what's going to happen. But honestly, I truly don't know who could win. I'm thinking it's probably going to be Hikaru Shida, Britt Baker, and Jamie Hayter. But then again, something tells me that the Outcast could pull something. So Christian Cage is the #1 contender for the TNT Championship, and wants to know what's with all these wrestlers with all these daddy issues, and isn't going to talk about Wardlow's father because it's not worth his time. And I was looking for a new son anyway, and threw Brock to the wayside and brought on Wardlow. I'm kind of shocked about Christian Cage being the #1 contender. I thought it would maybe be Luchasaurus, but I guess Christian Cage could face off against a championship. It makes me wonder why the hell they even brought back Luchasaurus if he's just gonna be Christian Cage's monster and not really do much of anything. I'm hoping that if Wardlow is gonna face off against Christian Cage, I hope that somehow Wardlow's not gonna drop the title to Christian Cage and then wrestle against him and win him back, because I'm sorry, this whole hot potato with the TNT Championship is getting a little annoying. I hope that maybe that Wardlow can have a lengthy reign with Arn Anderson. So Christian, I would not like you to win this TNT Championship, but the way that everything is going with the TNT Championship, it wouldn't really shock me if that's the case. But yeah. So getting on to our next match, Julia Hart faces off against Hannah JAS. Not really much to talk about this match. Julia Hart beats her. House of Black face off against the Best Amigos, which is who was that? It was the Best of Friends and Ray Phoenix. Oh no. Yeah, the Best Amigos facing off against the House of Black, and it was a House Rules. Or not House Rules. Yeah, House Rules match or something like that, and where pitch black. You had the screen of House of Black. It was their own signature rules. You had a 20 count, no disqualifications. Julia Hart was banned from ringside. I tell you what, these two teams battled each other. House of Black is lethal. Best Friends were trying as much as they could to really beat up on the House of Black to be able to maybe win the World Trios Tag Team titles, which those titles do have a new look, by the way. And Best Amigos just couldn't best them whatsoever. They just, as much as they could not best the House of Black. So the House of Black retain the World Trios Tag Team titles. But it makes you wonder who could be the true challengers for those World Trios Tag Team titles. And I would think that if it wasn't for the Elite and it wasn't for the Blackpool Combat Club at each other's necks, I would think that maybe the Blackpool Combat Club would be the best team to go after the World Trios Tag Team titles. But again, who knows? I mean, I'm sure a trio that I'm not expecting could go after them. Who knows? Kyle Fletcher looks to want the International Championship. Thoughts? I'm not opposed to that. Honestly, Kyle Fletcher from Aussie Open is one hell of a wrestler, as we'll talk about later in this match on Rampage, but I think him and Orange Cassidy can have themselves a really great match. Maybe a Double or Nothing or Forbidden Door, but personally, I would not be mad about them facing off against each other. I think Kyle Fletcher can be a proven singles competitor, be somebody that can give Orange Cassidy a challenge, as he's never lost since winning that championship. He is on a big old win streak. I don't even remember his last loss, to be honest with you, but yeah. These two men are going to bring it when they face off against each other. So Jon Moxley and Kenny Omega is the main event in a steel cage match on Dynamite, and these two men were just beating the living hell out of each other. I mean, Jon Moxley, and Kenny Omega were using barbed wire chairs, got the broken glass in there. I mean, bodies were battered, bruised, battered, and they definitely brought their blood, sweat, and tears literally in this match. But barbed wire and everything, geez, and Jon Moxley, it didn't take him long to start bleeding in that match, and Kenny Omega, man, he just was trying as much as he could to really take it to Jon Moxley. But surprisingly, when Kenny Omega was going for the pin, Don Callis was coming down the ramp into the ring after both men did go right into the cage and broke it. I mean, and then went in through that and helped Jon Moxley beat Kenny Omega with using the screwdriver, which made Kenny Omega bleed. And then Don Callis kissed Kenny on the forehead and left the ring. What does this mean? We are going to hear answers from Don Callis on our next show. But I'm shocked. I am shocked and awed that Don Callis would help Jon Moxley of all people. I know we have seen it, that Kenny Omega and Don Callis were, on opposite, sides and opposite, thought processes and everything like that. But to help Jon Moxley beat his own, basically, son, I'm shocked. I really am. It's going to make you wonder what's going to happen when the Elite and Blackpool Combat Club face off against each other. What is Don Callis's, what is his true allegiance? Is it with the Blackpool Combat Club or is it with the Elite? Because even Bryan Danielson afterwards was smiling, so it makes me wonder, is Don Callis going to be the new leader of the Blackpool Combat Club? I guess we'll have to find out, ladies and gentlemen. So we got into the first match of Rampage as the Acclaim and Daddy Ass face off against Butcher Blade and Kip Sabian. And they do beat them. So we got into our next match. Toni Storm faces off against Allison Kay. Yeah, Allison Kay has been in AEW before during the pandemic year, and well, it wasn't really much that happened other than Toni Storm beating the living crap of Allison Kay and beating her. So the Guns are looking to join up with Ethan Page to deal with his problem thoughts. Well, we'll talk about that a little bit more, so I'm not really going to talk about it here. Kyle Fletcher and Action Andretti, it was actually a pretty good match. I mean, these two men, high flyers, high energy, highly anticipated match between each other. Kyle Fletcher can just bring it. I think he is somebody that can be proven, a great proven singles guy, even though he is, the IWGP World Tag Team Champions and the New Japan Strong Never Openweight Tag Team Champions, with his tag team partner there, and also with United Empire. But let me tell you something. He can show that he can really bring it as a singles guy, as he beats Action Andretti on Rampage, and he does the thumbs up. He is ready for Orange Cassidy. He wants the International Championship. And I think, honestly, after that match, he's somebody that can win the International Championship and dethrone Orange Cassidy. I think he can be the one that can do it. I really do think so. The Hardys now want a shot at the tag team titles after the firm deletion match. And out come the Guns, and there will be a trios match, and if the Hardys win, they get to be in charge of Ethan Page's contract, which the Guns have said that Ethan approves. And the Guns say as long as they are there, the Hardys will never get a shot at titles. Who the hell do they think that they can just say that, that they're the best brothers tag team, and that they don't get, since they're there, the Hardys are never going to get a shot? Personally, what I would like to see is a number one contenders match. I don't think it's really been done before in AEW. I think that the Guns and the Hardys should face off against each other. Whoever wins gets to face off against FTR at Forbidden Door for the World Tag Team titles. That would be awesome to see. I really do want to see the Hardys dethrone FTR. As much as I love to see FTR have, be two-time AEW World Tag Team champs, I think it's the Hardys' time. This is their final rodeo. That's a tag team title they have never won before, is the AEW tag team titles. So I really do think that it's time for them to go and win them. The last title of their Expedition of Gold. They were the belt collectors way before FTR were the belt collectors. So honestly, what better way to have the original belt collectors beat the current belt collectors in FTR? So get on to the main event of Rampage as Brian Cage and Swerve Strickland face off against our Dark Order's Alex Reynolds and John Silver. I tell you what, John Silver, you can show those guns as much as you want to, but Brian Cage is the machine for a reason. But man, it was a pretty good match. Brian Cage and John Silver were really trying to go at each other. John Silver just got beaten down by brute strength by Brian Cage, and then Swerve Strickland, doing as much as he can, but fortunately, Alex Reynolds, John Silver, Brian Cage, and Swerve Strickland were too much as they beat them, and then Dark Order get beaten down after the match by the Mogul Embassy, and then out comes Keith Lee and Dustin Rhodes to even odds. What does this mean? It means that the Mogul affiliates and Dark Order with Dustin Rhodes and Keith Lee are not over with. I think this could lead into Double or Nothing. I think you're going to get the whole entire Mogul Embassy of Swerve Strickland, the other two members of the six-man tag team champions, and Brian Cage, and you're going to have them face off against Alex Reynolds, John Silver, Keith Lee, and Dustin Rhodes. Even though it could just be on the buy-in for Double or Nothing, I still think that it would be a great 8-man tag team match to see happen at Double or Nothing. So, yeah, a little bit of a shorter episode than we usually are used to. Marty usually brings more out of this show. I usually like to just kind of keep it nice and short and simple. So this is going to conclude this episode of No Final Bell. Please make sure to follow us at social media on Tinkle Sports. Of course, over there you want to follow that YouTube channel, Tinkle Sports Entertainment, as well as we're probably not going to be on Facebook Watch for time being, just on YouTube for right now. As well, we got Sunday Morning Tinkle every Sunday at 9, Odd Turn 4 every Tuesday at 5, and then a show typically every Wednesday at 5. But right now, this is, Thursday. It's going to come out, today. So, we'll make sure that there's going to be a weekly episode every week, even if it has to just be me. So, as always, everyone, we're going to catch you in the next one. Goodbye, everyone.